I used to wear motorcycle patches, but I didn't like it. Let's get into it. RevelatorAlf. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So this video is all about, me, wearing motorcycle patches in the past, how I kind of thought, well, this isn't really for me, and I stopped doing it. Why, you ask? Well, let me explain what I was doing. So my style, my fashion sense, let's say, was always from the past. Back in the day, this was, I'd wear waistcoats, not leather waistcoats, just normal waistcoats, you know, cloth fabric waistcoats. And these, I still wear granddad shirts now, you know, so I kind of like that style, I still do. But I rarely wear waistcoats these days. Anyway, so when I was riding my motorcycles, I'd always have a waistcoat underneath with a shirt and everything, and then I just do my bit, as it were. Nothing to do with patches, nothing to do with clubs or anything like that. It's just a fashion sense, as it were, I had. Okay, as the years went on, I bought one of these leather waistcoats, again, to wear beneath my jacket, because I thought, actually, quite a warm material in the winter. I'm not a leather fan, I never have been, so you'll always see me with a textile jacket for the most part. I don't wear leather trousers or anything. I have done in the past, but not anymore, unless I was going on a racetrack or something like that. Anyway, so some of you may be aware that quite a few years ago now, I ran a motorcycle safety program, and one of the ways I thought about advertising this was when I was riding around, that I could find some way of advertising that I was doing this safety program. So I thought, actually, well, I've got this waistcoat here, or some people call it a cut, I don't know, or some, you know, whatever. I thought, actually, I could design some motorcycle patches, let's say, and I had them all over the back. I'm there, probably can see just the remnants of where they used to be. And I had them on the back and over the front as well. And I'd go to motorcycle shows and I'd put on displays at motorcycle shows, or motorcycle rallies, I should say. And I'd go to lots of events and give lots of talks and all that kind of stuff. So if you go back on my social media from I don't know, quite a few years ago now, you'll see pictures of this, you know, with the patches on and everything like that. Now, granted, I used to get quite a few funny looks from people who didn't know me. Those people who knew me or knew of me knew what I was doing it, knew why I was doing it, and how I was using this kind of motorcycle patches, let's say, as a kind of advertising banner to, you know, for the program which I was running. Okay, so cool. It's got a bit sunny all of a sudden. Right, got a bit sunny there. Let me just pull down the blind a bit. Anyway, so I'd wear the patches for this reason, and you know, it was all okay. But I've got to say, I never really felt comfortable doing it. I always felt a little bit of a fraud. I always felt a little bit that it just wasn't me. Now, you know, people would sometimes wonder, okay, is this a motorcycle club thing? Is it kind of that way inclined? And yeah, I was going to motorcycle rallies and everything. And yeah, I observed, of course, that, you know, people wore patches, you know, whatever, whether you're in clubs or not. So yes, maybe at the back of my mind there was a little element of that to say, okay, well, you know, walking in these circles, maybe people might identify with this a little bit more. But it was never the intention to imitate or pretend that I was starting a motorcycle club or an organisation or anything like that. It was more about, well, I was just using it as an advertising banner, let's say. Anyway, so the program ran for a few years, and I was going to all these motorcycle rallies, local ones granted. I wanted to take it national, but I thought, well, I could do it over the internet a lot more, and yeah, it kind of worked for a while. There's no doubt there. But then at some point, I just sort of thought, well, I'm going to wind this down, and do you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. So look, the patches came off the waistcoat, and yeah, I got a couple here, but you know what, I don't even wear this anymore. I haven't worn this in about 3 or 4 years, possibly. I don't know, maybe not that long, but it's one of those things that you think, well, I was using it at the time, I was wearing patches at the time, but it just didn't really sit well with me for whatever reason. This is nothing against people who wear patches or wear patches in a club or anything. You're a motorcycle rally type biker, and you just like wearing patches all over your waistcoat or your motorcycle jacket or whatever it is. But it was just something that I thought that I wouldn't normally do, and if I wore a badge or something like that, let's say a little badge like that, I'd say, yeah, I might wear a badge or something, maybe a patch here and there, but small, very individual, something like that. It just wasn't me to just put loads and loads of patches on me. Some people do, they like that, and that's great, but as I say, it wasn't for me. So when I kind of took this waistcoat off, let's say for the last time, or stopped wearing the patches, it was almost like a bit of a sense of relief. I didn't have to do it anymore for my program, which I was intensely passionate about. It was something that I thought I could just go back to the way I was before, as it were. The way I used to ride, and this is the way I am now. It's open, honest as much as I can, and I ride bikes, and I love the lifestyle, as it were, and I love everything about motorcycling. As I've said before in previous videos, I'm a complete motorcycle nut. I like everything about them, and everything about the lifestyle, whatever, but I don't necessarily identify myself with any particular stereotype or any particular style, as it were. I just kind of meander, do my own thing, and hopefully that doesn't offend people. I just kind of do my own thing. And people who wear patches or in motorcycle clubs, or whatever, to identify them as colours, or whatever, that's fine. That's a totally different thing, and it's not for me to comment on those, of course, because again, that signifies something, and it's nothing for me to question. I say, but if people want to wear those, then they've got to feel comfortable in wearing those as well. And or any patch or anything like that, any kind of insignia, you got to feel comfortable in wearing it. And I've never really felt comfortable in wearing anything like that. I tend to like to go under the radar a little bit. I tend to like to ride wherever I want to ride, and just not anything. Just very plain colours when I'm riding. I don't really wear leather, as I say. I don't wear patches anymore. I don't wear badges anymore like that. This is kind of, I keep it just for nostalgia, really. But sometimes I think, yeah, should I break this out again and start wearing it? And maybe I will one day. I don't know. It's not something that I would necessarily wear. I mean, certainly not to wear this on the outside of my jacket, as a lot of people would do. Again, for me, it would be underneath the jacket as a kind of a windbreak. That's where I've found it most beneficial, but other people do it in a different way, of course. But as I say, that's where I had my limitation with patches. I use them for a particular purpose, and yes, some people would inquire, let's say, that's all I'm going to say, whether I was starting a motorcycle club or in a motorcycle club. But those people also acknowledge, actually, no, he's not. He's doing this from a good place, from providing information at the time. And certain people were really interested in what I had to say as well. Whether they kind of thought I was being a bit of an arse, walking around wearing these patches, I'm sure many people did. Don't get me wrong, I didn't really feel that comfortable with it myself, but I was kind of forcing myself to do it for a particular program. And maybe looking back, yeah, I'll probably do it in a different way. If I had to do it again, I would definitely do it in a different way, let's say. But at the time, that was the idea that I had, and everything that I came up with was all my designs, and all the expense of making all these patches and having them put on my jacket and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there was a lot of time, energy and money that went into that project, that program. But it's something, again, I'm open about, that I didn't really feel that comfortable with the way I was dressing. And in fact, actually, what I used to do with this waistcoat or cut or whatever you want to call it, whenever I used to have the displays at the shows, I used to hang this up. This used to be hanging up, and you know, I just have all the patches there, and it used to be hanging up on like a coat hanger on the wall, let's say, so people could look at it and see, okay, this is what it was. So sometimes I didn't even wear it myself. I just have it as a hanging ornament, as it were. I always wanted a tailor's dummy, let's say, so I could just put this on there, and you know, so it would bring home the idea that whatever aspect of motorcycling you come from, if you're in a motorcycle club or you just go to rallies, or you got nothing to do with that scene at all, let's say, that you know, these kind of issues, these safety issues, or these accident issues, or these injury issues, or fatalities, let's say, can apply to everybody. And the information I was given was hopefully going to be of some benefit to you. It was going to keep you alive, let's say, and that was my thinking at the time. But anyway, so that's my history with motorcycle patches, really. As I say, they're not really for me. They're not really something that I enjoy wearing. But again, I don't have an issue at all with anybody else wearing. I think they look really cool. But as I say, it's always about what is right for you, and what is right for you, great. What is right for me is something slightly different. But as I say, that's the way the cookie crumbles, or whatever the term is. But anyway, look, I think this has to go back into the wardrobe, I think, for this. But I thought I'd share that with you. Motorcycle patches, yeah, it's not really for me. I don't really wear them, or any kind of insignia on my clothing. But I suppose that's the way I just like it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. And yeah, possibly I should get out into the sun and enjoy it rather than being stuck in here. Catch you again. Ta-da.